Oh, welcome! Time for the first stream from my new apartment. It's been some time. Got my water, got my coffee. Now it's time to stream. Let's see where are we at. I'm so clunky. I haven't used OBS in what feels like ages. Anyhow, I hope everything is visible. Probably. Not so much. Well, most of it is visible. I'm always confused that if I share a program, like in design, that it doesn't show all of the windows. It only shows like a few of them, which annoys me to the brim. change that. No, it doesn't work. Good, I hate it. Well, anyway. Let's see. Good morning, everyone. So, what's on the platter today? I thought, why not share some of the things I've been doing in the background in the past days, weeks, months, because I've been busy cracking at some stuff. I recently got a lot into doing conventions like Dokomi in Düsseldorf, selling my own work and stuff. And it came to my attention that somehow I never made an art book. And while I was preparing for Dokomi, I was like, well, what kind of prints do I want to sell? And usually I default to selling prints or making prints of artworks that are kind of similar to this, like really illustrative, blocky colors, just catching your eye, right? But what I never did was doing any sorts of prints from my 3D work. And I kind of understand why I never did that, because it's just like, it's such a contrast, even though I'm trying to do 2D in 3D style, it's such a contrast to my more signature 2D style that I never really did any prints of that. And also, what I also never did is, I used to do a lot of concept artwork, and I never made prints of my concept artwork. I don't know why, maybe because, I mean, now with my learnings I had from all the conventions I went to in the past days, weeks, months, this kind of stuff doesn't really sell that well. And I get it, I like when I see concept artwork from other artists, but I probably wouldn't hang a print of it in my apartment. Does that make sense? Maybe it's just my taste. But usually I would love more like simplicity and more bold colors. And so I went back and was like, man, I'm doing that for 10 plus years now. How much work is that actually piled up? And holy crap, it's a lot. So I started just throwing screenshots from my Instagram and all my archives that I have chronologically into the InDesign file. And I think if I see it right, you can't see that here, like sadly, but I have here my page count. I ended up with like 292 pages. Like, what the fuck? This is like, I mean, to be fair, it's 10 years of making artworks, but I stopped at 300 pages because I realized, okay, that will be too much for one book for my taste. And I need to split it up somehow. And when I started looking how could I split it up, so I made like this little content thing here. So I saw like I have these 3 world building projects. And in this book here, that spans already 10 years, it's quotation only 2 of my projects. It's Paxira and Machidelic. These are 2 of my world building projects. What is not involved is Fum Tatadouin, which is my bachelor thesis, which is also a world building project that probably is also 80 pages, only from the stuff that I basically showed in the end. And what is also not in there is my free work. And that is only spanning 2016 to 2026. So I was like, okay, that is too much. I mean, of course, I don't want to use like the really old shit that is just not a pleasure to the eye. But still, there were some things before 2016 where I felt like, I mean, it's not too bad. You can put it into an art book. I mean, this is 2016, that stuff here. So I'm not ashamed to show that. I'm really proud of the work I did back then. But there's still work before that was also good. So I was like, holy shit, okay. Guess I have to split it up and do multiple books. It's just so much stuff that piled up. And that doesn't even include the other book I'm currently working on, which, bear with me, is my sketchbook collection. which I also started some time ago, but ditched it for now because I felt like, okay, I think people maybe want to see more my digital work for now. And it was also really complex to do this whole design thing, which we're still trying to figure out what the hell is going on here. Anyhow, yeah, let's get cracking at it. Ditch the sketch scene for now, ditch the big book for now, which is too big, and focus on my first one. Or the book I'm interested in right now is my Magidelic book, which is a project I'm still loosely working on. I would say most of my animation projects that I'm posting on my YouTube are loosely connected to this world. I mean, really, really loosely. There's like one character, this guy here, this figurine of Void. He is kind of part of Magidelic, of this magic, bureaucratic world, but it's really vague. But it kind of still fits into the whole theme. Yeah, and I thought let's make a book about that, and maybe later on make a book about my old, where is it? My old sci-fi work, cyberpunkish, machine designs. My god, this stuff is really old. The date is wrong. It's probably like 220 or something, I don't know. Yeah, because I also like these works. So at some point I will make another art book about this and other stuff. But for now, what I'm doing is I'm slowly going through all the works that are already arranged chronologically, and try to collect all the text I wrote for these artworks at some point, because there was also a reason why I wanted to make an artwork. A lot of people were asking, like, dude, are you making a world-building project? What's this about? And I realized that I never really collected all the stories that I wrote at some point, so people can read it up. So this is also one reason why I wanted to do this book. So reason 1, get all my 3D work in it, and reason 2, collect all the stories. And that's it where we are right now. So let's see where I stopped working on it yesterday. So some of the stuff you see on the screen right now, a lot of it is placeholder design. So of course this looks like crap. So what I want to do here is, because it's a 3D animation, I want to make like one big image of an interesting frame of this animation, and then have like kind of like a flip book style frame excerpts, so you can look at some more frames in small. It's just a design shenanigans. Same here. So we have some concept work. Maybe we can use this. This is also like a really crappy placeholder, because what I think, and now I have to throw on my really old hard drive in the hopes that I still have all the files, because this is also what I realized is I'm really bad at collecting files, and I need to do that. I need to look it up. We have this bad boy. Oh, maybe something like this. Also, making this art book, I realized how much I missed doing a little bit of layout work. And yes, so here. Astro. Let's make it like this. Boop. Boop. Alrighty. I don't really have like a perfect workflow for making art books. It's what I learned in the past now. What usually works the best for me is to just collect all the crap that you have, make some placeholder designs, and once you have everything somewhat in a place, I go back to the content page, do an update to see how much is actually in there, and then slowly start basically working my way from top to bottom and finalize it. Of course, I have a rough idea for the design, but on the other hand, I for now try to not overthink it, because usually what I learned now in the past with graphic design layouts and stuff is the more I'm like, oh, I need to have a really, really fancy design and need to have all this gimmicky stuff in there, I just never really get to it and manage to actually finish something, which is really, really annoying. So I rather like just throw in all the stuff and see where it takes me. So let's see. My god, there's even more work. I just opened my hard drive. Crazy. Okay, it was not 2019, so it was probably this one. Train station. Yes, that looks promising. What do we have? We have the assets. This is not it. Ads. Was it not this? Oh god. Did I? See, that's the thing. I sometimes forget to actually... Oh, ooh, I found something. Yes, oh my god. Oh, I found the right files. Main character, trash bin. Where's the posters? I know I did posters for that. This, no, this, no, this. This is main character. It's so funny, like, excuse me, going back through, all these files. I realize how complicated some things I did were, and now that I have some experience, I'm like, Jesus man, you made your life really harder than it must be. But I think that's the beauty of learning new tools like 3D. And I found what I was looking for, these posters. Addicted. Call the ministry for help. My god, I was way more into the whole world building thing here. Let's see. Cheeky Robert Downey Jr. illustration hidden in that artwork. Oh my god, it's so dumb. Let's put that here a bit. Alright. That can go out. Can go in here. Zip. That is a placeholder for that. See, that's also one thing with designs. Like, I know so many art books are just like, fuck it and put something right in the middle of the fold of the book, and I fucking hate it. It's just like, oh, I get like the icks, the ickies. Don't like that. So what I usually do is do everything more on the edges. Which also is not great, because then you can't put text in here. Shit. Okay, let's maybe do more like this, because I can live with a cut in here and the text is big enough so you can understand what the hell is going on. You have some place here. Put that down. Maybe I want to have that one up here. Shoop. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, so next we have some of the concept work. For the, well, is it for the doorways and all this signage? This one. So let's see, how can we implement that? All right. Wait, I think we should do more the illustrations that are part of the animation on one page. Oh my god, it's getting more pages. Let's do the character concepts on one page, do all the illustrations on one page, and do all the UV maps on another page. I think that might look a bit better. Not sure if people are interested in that shit, but let's just put it in for now. Rather put it in than not put it in and then later have to scramble around with the layout again. So, didn't work clean here. Alright, so we have that. Some of this here. Then we have this little metro map. Is this something that people are interested having in the art book? Just wondering. Like, this is not an artwork per se, but it's part of the artwork. I think it's kind of important to have in it. Just shows where everything came from. See, this is also like InDesign here. So here's some space for some texts. Make one of those. Zip. Ah, yeah, that's nice. So I have a little bit of space. Now I can explain what is going on here. Hey, welcome to the stream. So, now think of some nice little title, Painting the Unseen. Oh god, that sounds so dramatic, but it kind of describes what was going on back there. Because like, I did put, I mean here I was kind of managing to break it down, but sometimes in my 3D animations I put in so much details that basically never get seen. Like, I mean, even here, like this is the map design I did, and there were some hidden Easter eggs in it. I don't even know anymore which ones. And you only see it here in the back. You can barely see it in the animation. Like the details, of course you see that there's the map, but yeah. You know what I mean. Why does my artwork sound, my voice sound like I'm a chain smoker? I guess it's the early morning. What is an art book? Just like a book of artwork? Yes. It's a collection of artworks that I've done in the past. Because I've seen so many of my favorite artists did at least one at some point. And I was like, maybe I should do one too, especially because people were asking me about it at conventions if I have one. So I was like, okay, maybe I should do one. Not sure when you joined the stream. I did explain it a little bit in the beginning, but right now I'm working on an art book that is specifically about my Magidelic fantasy magic world building project. There's more projects I worked on in the past, but I decided to basically split it up into 2 or /3 individual art books. And right now I'm working on the art book that also covers... okay, then a short explanation. I started collecting all the artworks that I did in the past 10 years because I realized when I was at conventions selling my artworks as prints that I have so much work that, in my opinion, don't really fit on a classical print format. So for example, these 2D animations, these small nitbits. Like, this one is an art print that I sell, and it works fine because it's more bold, illustrative. But for example, my 3D animations that I also share on my YouTube videos, they don't really work well on art prints. And I also did a lot of concept artwork, and these also don't really fit on an art print. And I realized I never really thought about it too much for probably 10 years or so. And so all the artworks started piling up, and now I was like, let's maybe make an art book, and I just threw in all the stuff that I never really printed or put out in a layout and realized, holy crap, that is a lot of stuff. So in the end, I was at 300 pages of artworks. I mean, it's also 10 years of artworks, but... And I stopped at that point. I was like, this is not all I have, but it's too much. So now I basically split up, do one art book about Magidelic, which is also the project some of my 3D animations here on the YouTube channel are about. And also collect all the stories and texts I've written about these artworks. Because I also never did that, and people were always like curious, like, okay, what's going on there? This seems like a bigger project, can I read up on it? And there's no place you can read up on it. So now there is. So I'm working on it. So it's partially art book / storybook. Where was I here? Alrighty. I mean, and right now we are just in the phase of like making draft version 2.0, 3.0. I basically have all the stuff in place where it should be chronologically, and in general looking if something is missing, because I just realized I didn't put these in. So I went onto my old school drive folder where I was like, holy shit, there is so much stuff in there that I forgot about. So I'm just putting them in while we go. And oh my god, I even made animated UV maps, I just realized. Wow. Okay. That is new to me. I wonder if I can show that somehow. Give me a second. It's a bit chaotic, but you will get the point. I just realized I made like animated UV maps. I have no idea where they actually show up in the artwork that I'm just layouting right now. Especially that clock. Or like this stuff. What does it say? Dieser Zug fällt aus. Heute wegen Auswegen. I don't know. Train is not coming today. This is so crazy. Like I genuinely can't remember I did that. It's so funny. What you see right now is an art book of a friend of mine. Alright, no, back. Ooh, it's too big. Alright. Readjusting the windows. Alright. Alright, I hope that works now. Can you also quickly tell me if you see a window here that says pages, and you can see a small thumbnail of the pages? Because I can't see it. Where was I? So, Me gusta good life. What can we put in here? So we have these two posters. Do I have... Okay, this guy's here. This is this, this is this, this is this. This is the text about what I'm showing there. This is these posters. Maybe we can put them on one page. Make it a little bit more compact. Yeah, that's better. Doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to be in place. So, what else do we have? We have trash bins, we have weird textures. Stuff like this. Whoop. Another reason why I decided to split it up is the cost factor. I was oh damn, I forgot about these ones. Whoopsie. I was making a poll on my Instagram, and a lot of people were like, I mean, a lot would love to have an art book, but it's needs to be also like kind of in the realm of being able to pay for it. And the issue was, if I do an art book that is bigger than 200 pages, the production cost gets so bad, especially for the small run that I want to do, that I would have to sell it for such a high price that I would price out a lot of people. And I was like, nah, I don't want to do that. I want to have like a book that has a lot of content, but also is affordable for people. So basically I was like, okay, let's make a smaller book, quotation mark, smaller book, that people can somewhat afford. Do I have to split that up also? My god. Let's throw out this bad boy. Throw out this bad boy. Take this one. Make that one a big illustration. Shoop. Boing. Alright, yeah, that's better. Maybe. I don't know. Ah, yes, I like that. I'm thinking if I should do a more free layout here and there, where stuff is just pasted on it, but yeah, no, I don't like it. Not liking it. Oh my. Could I, should I? I'm like, I don't want to start like piling up text everywhere, because on the one hand, it's kind of the struggle I have. I want to make an art book with the artworks in the focus, but there's so much text and story behind it. And at some points, I want to keep it like more chill like this. And I'm also like not a big fan of white space, especially when it's like this here. So maybe, just maybe, I have to throw in some stuff in here that maybe it's not perfect now, but I can continue with my work on it. Maybe something like this. Scale it up a notch. Doesn't need to be perfect. Something like this. I'm also doing the live stream because now comes the revelation. I want to have a recording of the work I'm doing on this book because I want to make a little YouTube video about it, kind of similar to when I did my video about the comic that I did. And I want to have some footage of this, but it looks like crap. I don't like this. But it also looks like crap. Shit. Am I stuck now? Please no. Okay, let me think. I want to have them in. I'm just thinking if I should throw something out. These four are illustrations I really want to show. Maybe I have to use this. Throw down here and then throw that page out and do something here. I don't know how yet. Maybe it's a matter of wait, now I'm back at square one. I'm stupid. Oh no. My god, it can't be that complicated. Ah, I know what I can do. Doing some close-ups. Because why not? Is it lazy? Maybe. I don't know. Let's see. This guy, paste in place, oops, like this, paste into, move him over. Why is it not working? Okay, never mind. This is some scaling issues. Not really happy with all of this, but maybe it's just me. Oh, what to do. Ah, fuck it, okay. Let's just do it. Simple. It's such a bummer. Like, this page works so well. This will work well. This, of course, artwork. This also works kinda ish. This works. And then you have this crappy ass page here. I knew this would happen. I could make an alternative layout where I'm like, have people turn the pages, but I don't know about that one. Oh, I do this. Wait, is that a solution? Okay, that was easier than I thought. Never mind. Sometimes you're just overthinking. Oops. Why does it look so crappy? It shouldn't look that crappy. This. Let's go fancy schmancy. This. Ooh, no. Into the background, arrange send backward, arrange send to back, make the transparency 11, maybe a bit more, maybe like 30, make it yellowish, delete that, lighten, oh that's a dirty ass yellow. Eh. 60. That back to 11. The resolution is not good enough, in my opinion. No, that's too much. Back to square one. Just doesn't kick somehow. Maybe I'm overthinking it. It just goes up. This goes here. Do we have something else that we can put in? my kitty cat in the back complaining about life. I feel you. Maybe put this guy in here. Hello there, how you doing? All right, Photoshop is booting up. Let's, oh, I'm dumb. Of course, what I can do instead, we go here. Instead of like deleting the background in Photoshop, you can just go here, object layer options, turn the background off. Boom, done, transparent. Easy. Oop, the music is over. Give me a quick second. Maybe I don't need these. How you guys doing? Any reason? Too much art that I never really put on a print and people asked me about it. So I was like, okay, maybe I should make an art book at some point. Now, to be honest, like, there's multiple reasons for that. But I think for now, like, one of the reasons that I realized is probably the most important one is that I don't have a place for all the stories that I wrote for my artworks, because people usually just get to see the artwork. Might be a print, might be an animation on Instagram, but they don't really know the whole world behind it. So I'm like, maybe I should create a place where I collect it, because I'm not so much a fan of making a website or some stuff for it. And oh my god, I like Cowboy Bebop, but the music's too loud. Quickly change it. Where was I? Ah, yeah. Why an art book? Brain. Too many things at once. Messages. Artbook. Yeah, I want to have a place where people can read up on the stories and where I can put all the stuff that I don't usually would print on an art print for conventions. You know, the thing is, because I'm getting more into conventions. Like this year I've been to Dokomi and will be at Polaris in Hamburg, and next year I want to also go international if it works out, go to MCM London and maybe some conventions in Asia. And the thing is, with these conventions, you have to kind of have some fan art in your portfolio. So people go to your booth, check it out, and maybe also then hop over to your OC stuff, because I have way more OC world building stuff with my own stories than fan art. And people buy it, but they are usually like really curious about like, oh, what's going on there? What's the story? And you don't really have the time on conventions, or people also don't have the time to read up on it or can wait for me to explain everything. And it's just too much at this point. I mean, we are talking in this book, or like in the whole project that I'm looking at right now, it's like 10 years of artworks. You can't explain that in like a few minutes or so. So, yeah, I need an art book. Does it make sense? Yeah, most likely. Definitely. Absolutely. Oh, nice. Thank you. First person interested. Yeah, I will sell it in my Etsy store that I have somewhere online. Wait, let me just pause it here. Give me a second. Can't paste links in here. Interesting. Wait, can I maybe? Can't do it here. Ah, yes. So will most likely will be on there at some point. I'm not sure how long it will take. I'm quite surprised how fast I'm moving through it with the rough draft, but realistically, I would expect it to be done in like maybe in a month max. We also have to think about production time and stuff. I will do a small run first though. Like it won't be like I won't produce like 500 or so. It will be like a small run of maybe like 25 to 50, because it's so much production costs that I have to invest first. So yeah. Thank you. I'm really looking forward to doing this. Like, this won't be my only art book. In the beginning of the stream, I mentioned that I would split it up into different projects, basically. It just happened that I started with my more recent project, which is kinda annoying also because I like to do things chronologically, since this art book is supposed to span a decade of my work, and this is more like the last 2/3, 1/3 of my decade making art. But I feel it makes the most sense. I don't want to make, because I have to split it up because the pages are so many. I have to split it up, and I don't want to start with an art book that basically caps then at 2020, and then there's like 6 years missing. And I feel like from a business standpoint, and you have to think a bit like this if you want to sell products. People will be then like, well, but why is this book stopping at 216? I want to see the new stuff. So yeah, I start with that, make the next book combined with really old stuff and really new stuff. It's not perfect, but it should work. I plan on doing so. It's just might be a bit expensive depending on where you live. Usually I have experience with shipping worldwide, but especially the US, it's complicated. It works, but it costs a lot of money for people who want to buy it, so that is out of my hands. But usually I ship worldwide. I have multiple world building projects and characters and stuff. This book will be now specifically about my more recent project, Magidelic. It's basically imagine Harry Potter with drugs and too much bureaucracy. Sounds like a weird combination, but it's what it started out with. It changed a lot during the past years. Like in the beginning, let's go back here. In the beginning, it was more like concept arty, character design, really deep storyline. There's like multiple storylines in this world building project. So I focused a lot on doing more like this fantasy-ish, 70s, 80s inspired shit. And was then slowly evolving, and it kind of kicked off with these two guys, Oni and Ino. This was like one of the more dark and grim storylines. These guys were investigators who basically tried to find out more about this drug in the storyline that kind of fucks up humans. But these guys, it was never really sure on what side they are. Are they the good guys? Are they bad guys? Wasn't really sure. I sadly never finished the storyline. It was like supposed to be a 6-chapter comic. Kind of stopped at chapter 2 because I got distracted by doing other stuff. Basically, this book will give a rough outline about the world that I created with Magidelic, and give you a glimpse in what direction it at some point evolved. So here it was way more clear what is going on. It kind of translated into the stuff you see on my YouTube channel with the 3D animations. But to be fair and to be honest, since this was always so complex with translating the 2D designs into 3D, at some point, let me see. At some point it got less and less about the main idea and went to be more like a loose interpretation. So like my current 3D animations, let me see if I have them in there. So yeah, this one, like my last YouTube video with painting in 3D and also the making a 3D character, it is kinda loosely connected. It's not part of like any of the storylines. It's more lending some of the visuals, because this guy here, he's one of the characters that appears in some 2D illustrations and also animations, 3D animations I did for this world project. But especially this animation with this character here and my latest YouTube video, this void character appears in there, but it's not really connected to the storyline. It's lending the idea of this Kafkaesque bureaucracy and weird creature, but it's not really like going in any specific direction. This one maybe more. Yeah. I think what most people always are confused about with my project here or my other projects is they want to see, and I can understand it, that they want to see like a big story unfold, like I don't know, over multiple years following one character or something like this. But what I usually do with these projects is more, I give myself a pool of visuals and general direction I can lend designs from to do an artwork. So it can happen that at some point I'm like, oh, you know what, I want to do like 5 artworks that focuses on, for example, this robotic character. And then you get like a loose storyline based in this world. But more than often I'm just like, okay, I have the visual language established, I make an illustration based on that. Maybe there's a story behind it, maybe not. So for example, these ones, I had a client ask me if I can do tarot cards and interpret tarot cards. And I was like, well, yeah, sure, I can do that. So I took all the visual eye candy from this world that I created, that is also in the book, and did tarot cards. Are they telling any storyline of the world? Not really, but it lends visual. So this is like the Devil tarot card, and this is the Hanged Man. I think you get the idea. But there were some characters and storylines. So this one was here, the tragic tale of Harald and Margaret. I did like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 illustrations with stories. Where was I? Where's the pages? Ah, we're here. Still on that. I kind of saw it coming that like the bigger 3D animations that I did will take a lot of time to lay out because there's so much stuff in it. InDesign. OBS. Thank you so much, man. Um, it's kind of funny. Like I usually would suspect that people find my channel through my YouTube videos that are popping off way more than my live stream. But it's kind of funny. Like I feel like my live stream community is different to my long format video community. Which is funny because I do barely any live streams. I just do live streams when I feel like I need a reason to work. Because sometimes I'm like, I don't know. I need some push in my back, so you do work. But thank you. So is there a chance Harald will meet the Voidman at some point? Of course, yeah. Maybe he already did. Let me think. Where's Harald? Harald. So this is Harald. Let me see if he ever did. For sure he did not meet in a 3D. Oh, actually did he? Wait a minute. So this guy is in my 3D animation Gedankenarchiv. Did he meet? Not here. This is the beginning of the Voidman here. You have the investigators. Oh crap, no. He didn't. I think so. Here's the Voidman outdoors with his mask on. No, he never did. Interesting. So we have a character that met the Voidman. Voidman. Kind of stuck on that. Stuck on that name now. I never had a name for these guys, but it kind of works nice. So we have these drones, kind of burrow guys working here. And these ones are part of... Sorry for all the scrolling. He's this guy. They're basically... The idea was that these guys are your paperwork guys. If there's any paperwork, those guys sit down and they go through it and write everything down and try to understand what the hell is going on. And one of those guys met Harald and Margaret. What they usually try to do is they try to unravel everything that is too complicated for your classic burrow guy. And in the storyline of Harald and Margaret, what happened, I don't want to spoil too much, but Harald kind of fucked up some astral projection shit and multiplicated himself too many times. And he's trying to unravel that chaos. So there is no artwork where Harald met the Voidman, but this guy met the Voidman. Maybe you can hear my cat in the background, I'm not sure. Meow. I will tell Frodo that he was greeted. Frodo! Hello? Hello? I can't pick him up, he doesn't like to be picked up, but you imagine there's a beautiful black cat running around. Yes, I do some streams from time to time. Every 5 months. I should do more of them, but there's only so many things you can do at once. So I'm usually just do them when I feel like, okay, now I have a little bit of time. Now I can actually focus and do something. Yes, yes. All right. Some detail shots of Ralph. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Manfred. Beautiful names. All right. Finally, this out of the way. Concepts, painting the unseen. Okay, I think I do some reorganization that comes up here. I'm on the edge of switching over to Affinity. It's getting closer and closer to actually do. I use Affinity a little bit, not for big work, just trying it out and helping out people with it. But there's still one reason why I can't make the switch fully. So it's like I really love to use After Effects, and for now there is not really a program that I'm used to, and that is, for my opinion, in my opinion, as useful as After Effects when it comes to VFX. And since After Effects is so expensive if you get it all alone, it makes sense to have the Adobe Cloud. And when I have the Adobe Cloud, I still use the tools that are in it, like InDesign, Photoshop and all that stuff. But yeah, if the Switch sometimes at some point will come that they have a nice program that is like After Effects, I'm over it. Then goodbye Adobe. But I heard only good things. The only thing that was it Affinity with the data scraping? No, it wasn't Affinity, right? There was some controversy going on with like them making it for free. Was there something? Maybe I'm mixing up something. Oh my god, please no. Cavalry. Oh shit, I never heard that. Is it like After Effects clone-ish? I mean, I also know that a lot of people are switching over to doing After Effects stuff in Blender. I think, what was the other tool called? Nuke? Something like this. But yeah. I also like Premiere Pro for cutting videos, gotta say. So, okay, I have to reorganize that shit. Anyway, next program. Next program. My god, my brain. Next page. So that one... yeah, kind of works. Do I have story for this artwork? I don't. I don't have story for this artwork? For real? Let me quickly see. Instagram, did I post a story? Oh, I have to scroll down. Where is it? My god, is it really that long ago that I did that artwork? Gotta be somewhere. Is this? Ah, here, there we go. No, this is also not it. This is a real how I did it. I'm not gonna never post the artwork online. Could it be? Could it be? Damn, I really never did. Jeez, okay. Oh. Okay, if it might be part of Affinity, that would be great. At some point. But yeah, this is something like, even if there will be like a nice alternative, I'm really scared of like having to learn something new. So making the switch will also be a question of how much time I can devote basically to say, oh, let's learn something new. Who likes some coffee? Anyone? I'm making a cup of coffee. Who wants some coffee? God, I love that meme. It's so dumb. God damn it. So stupid. Oh. Who wants some coffee? I'm making a cup of coffee. Anyone? Coffee? Oh my god, I remember doing that illustration and I was thinking like it's the most hilarious thing ever. This is all good. This is all bueno. How am I doing this? I want to have them full scale, so I maybe German jump scare. Ja, I'm German. Wer mag ein bisschen Kaffee? Kaffee! I need some light. It's making some weird light on my face. But why though? Oh, I can't show you a black cat, but I can show you my tuxedo cat. This is Sam. Sam is hungry. Sam is always hungry. Sam wants some food. Okay, these illustrations have a lot of story, and I don't want to necessarily do something like this because there are so many details in it and it kind of sucks to break it down. So what I do Sammy, you're cute. The chat is saying you're cute. Where are you? Ah, there's Frodo. Hi Frodo, you're also cute. Imagine a beautiful black cat on the ground. Maybe I can show it him to you. Yeah, we're still missing a Gandalf. At some point we get a Gandalf. Alright, let's do it like this. I will make an additional page down here. Then I will make a small thumbnail. Maybe. Oh, I hope that shit works. See, that's the issue. Like, I wrote stories, but if you have like a full Dean style illustration, it's hard to put the text on it without like cutting something out. Shit's giving me a headache. Wait. Yeah, that's the right order. 1, 2, 3. 1. Two. 3. Nightmare fuel. Let's see how much text it is actually. Oh god, this is gonna be terrible. How am I? Wait. Oh. Wait a minute. I can. Okay, I see where this is going. Okay, this goes into the trash bin. Huh? Why? What? No. Jesus. Just add it in there. Ah, this shit is giving me a headache. Just take this text. Rubik medium, Rubik medium. Just do it like this then. Quickly throw that into Google Translate or DeepL. Because I don't know where I put the German text version. Wow, artsy fartsy. My god. I don't know what it is, but if I do layout work, it's probably also with illustration. I'm like going closer and closer to the screen. And at some point, I'm touching the screen with my nose. Must look hilarious for you guys with the webcam. Like, what is he doing? Ah. Right. This is Astral Kiss. This is Eternal Love. This is Window Peekers. At the windows. Oh yeah, the Shrimper. Guilty of that. A little bird told me. Wow. What a nice title. So, and this goes 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh god, 1. What the? 1, 2. Merchant meeting. I have to look up the titles. I'm just writing titles now because I can't remember the titles. It's so bad. Not a fan of that. Never mind. Egal. And here we can also. I do wonder, do I have the illustration on here? Is this? When did I draw that? Was it 2019? No, it has to be later. Oh, great. Joyful Codex Obscura. Wait, wasn't that thing on? Oh my! I totally forgot about that one. That wasn't even that bad. Okay. Totally forgot about this illustration. It was also loosely part of that project, but I never really. I don't think I ever published that one. That had some potential. Holy shit. Things you find on your hard drive. My god. Interesting. When was that? Codex Obscura. To be fair, like I remember why I never posted that one, because I never finished it. The issue I had with that one is that I had a really hard time figuring out the coloring for it. It was like all super muddy and too dark, and I don't know. Yeah, let's see if I maybe use the green version. But what I'm searching for, and I can't find it, and it makes me a little bit anxious, is the raw file for that illustration that I have open right now. Oh, we're getting closer. Okay. Ooh, that's... Oh, there's this stuff. Okay, that's good. I should have named my files. They're all like unnamed project 1 to 300. It's impossible to find anything. Oh my god, I even had these illustrations. I totally forgot about them. Wait, why is it not? Oh no. I have a rare suspicion that I accidentally lost the files. That would be terrible. Maybe I still have it on my art station. That could work. Oh, yes. I still got it on my art station. Thank God. Astral Kiss, Astral Therapy, Astral Meltdown. Oh my God, my naming was Grand Scheme. Download. Alright. That would have been it. Man, I would have been so sad. So, oh, look at that detail level. Nice. This was Astral Bleu. Astral Bleu. Zip. Whoop. This one. Oh yeah, that's how I like it. Look at the colors compared to before. Blah, 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 blah. I love it. Now I'm happy. Still not the highest resolution. Let me see if I have them on my iPad, because there's like so many details in here that you can't read, and I'm 100% certain that I have the files big enough that you can actually read that stuff. But that would only work if I still have the original files. Oh, okay, I have that one. And that is why we keep all the stuff on the iPad. I found them. The original file. Found it. Let's go. Ooh, I cannot wait to make a YouTube video about that, because I think it would be nice to go into detail for some of the illustrations and like talk about how they evolved while I worked on them. My God, back then I really went in. Did some detail stacking. Yeah, this one. Because right now you see on the screen it's like super pixelated, but let's see if we can PSD. Oh my God, the PSD is huge. I wonder if like one additional page with some detail shots would be nice, especially for these ones, because it would be kind of a bummer. Like the book will be a slightly smaller A4, so it will be. Let me see. It will be slightly smaller than this one. So it's big. Oh, some postcards. So you can see details. But I think since the illustrations are so packed full of like little hidden Easter eggs, because I remember that, and we will see that now, if it works. Let's see. And now it looks like shit again. Anyway, what I want to show is if it works now. Yes. Let me see display performance. Use high quality display. Why is it not working? It should be way more detailed. Doesn't make sense. Okay, whatever. Like, there are some details in here. I have to maybe play with the resolution later on. There's like a Morse code in there. There's some messages written on there that you couldn't feel read. There's some guys falling here in the background. And I think it would be a shame to not have at least one page. What is it reading on there? Says put sanction on Harald for overuse of Astralität. Interesting. Okay, so there's some stuff in there that I think would be nice to have some detailed shots of it. Oh, there's an illustration up there. My God. Okay. Hey, JB. Whoop whoop. I will have this art book for Polaris. If you will come over. I should have. Oh yeah, just remembering. I should have a helper ticket. So if you want to join, if you're there, or if you're not traveling abroad again. Alright. But yeah, if you don't have a ticket yet, you can just shoot me a message. I should have a second ticket or so, I hope. For everyone in the chat, this is Davey. Davey is an insanely good artist. He has really nice comics, really nice merch. The illustrations are peak cyberpunk, so check him out on Instagram. He's a damn legend. You have a, David, you have a drop live right now, right? The new scene. Hey Kanat, I want to thank you for your impacts. I started creating my 3D artworks based on your videos and I've already created character and background. I can share it. God damn, nice! Really happy I'm an inspiration. Yeah, sure, share it. I think you can probably DM me the link on Instagram, because I'm not sure if I can post links in here in the YouTube chat, if you're fine with that. And I will take a look at it. I'm curious, always curious. So this will be the detailed shot page. All right, Davey. I will catch up with you, and yeah, if you need a ticket for Polaris, just let me know. I should have one more, so you don't have to pay entry or some shit. Yeah. Cheers. Where's my headphones? I will quickly grab some snack because I'm hungry. Be right back in a minute. All right, we're back, and god damn it, it's cold. Temperatures dropped like crazy here in my town, so let's cozy up. Oh, music stopped. Sorry, guys. All right, we're back. I hope you guys will be fine with me devouring this beautiful green apple. It's perfect. Kanat, let me know once you send me the message so I can check the message request on Instagram. There are many TV shows. I mean, when it comes to the project I'm working on right now, what inspired me a lot, even though I started working on it before the show came out, was Severance. I really like the Loki series. I mean, I used to be a huge Marvel fan. After Endgame, I gotta say the movies and series kind of like dropped off. But the Loki series, I really liked it. That inspired me. Anything from Wes Anderson usually just hits the right nerve for me. It's just perfect. Alright, let's do the detail page. music off? Oh no. How many is it? 1, 2, 3, 12, 24. 8 slots per artwork. Let's find some details that we want to focus on. So I really want to have that Chris Hemsworth. My god, I need to go back to doing like weird ass illustrations. Pain, triastral. I still have to watch Project Hail Mary. A lot of people recommended me that movie, and I really wanted to go to cinema to watch it. But my god, the time when it came out into the cinema, there was so much stuff going on. I was so like struggling to keep up with time and everything that I couldn't watch it. And I was really sad about that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's reduce it. It's a bit too much shenanigans. Maybe something more like this. Ah, yes, better. Now it's what? 6, 9, 18. 18 divided by 3 is 6. Quick math. What are some shows and movies you guys at the moment watch? Any recommendations? if I like horror. Yes and no. I have a weird relationship with horror movies and series. On the one hand, I think I kind of like them, but on the other hand, I'm too spooked too easily, and then I don't enjoy it. Are the alien movies considered horror nowadays? Space horror? I think I like space horror. That's what I like. I don't like real life horror. I mean, space exploration, yeah. And I kind of like stories that go into the Lovecraftian horror, like horror beyond imagination. Yeah, guess maybe I like horror. I don't know. I think I like watching horror movies and shows, but I don't like choosing what to watch. Like I don't do it actively. If it runs on a TV or something, I watch it and then I'm like, ooh, nice. But I don't like go and sit down. Today I want to watch a horror movie. Does it make sense? All right. Now I had some food. Now I can go back at it full force. All right, detail shots. Boom. I've heard there's also a book about Project Hail Mary. I don't want to read that. Maybe. I try to read more because I was never a person that read a lot. I try to get into reading a bit more. But I'm terrible bad at it. Like, I have a hard time staying on track and staying interested. Like, the act of reading takes me so long to get into it. It's always like, ugh. Oh, Obsession. I read about it. It's pretty new, right? Can you tell me a little bit about the plot without spoiling too much? Is it possible, or is this a movie that you just have to watch it and go for it? In short, in German, because it's easier. Send it. Oh, I just went over the whips that you sent me, Kanat. Are you fine with me sharing them on stream, or should I just look them for myself and tell you what I think? I'd rather ask than just boldly put it onto stream. This is not working. I don't like it. Alright. No. Where's my stream? Oh, kind of like be careful what you wish for, because your dreams might come true. This kind of reminds me of, there was this skit about a guy not like meeting a djinn and not being precise how he formulates his wishes. And that usually leads to misunderstandings and his wishes being more negative than positive. I will take a look at it, because I already have to take a look at it, because it's so funny to see like this low budget video shitting on Disney. So alone for that, I'm totally down for that. Oh, we need new music. Music makes me lose control. I really like what I see, Panko. The Panko shirt. It's really nice work, Kanat. Did you manage to make the grease pencil work on the character together with the rig? Because I remember I didn't do that because it was kind of crapping out. Like static shots it worked, but the second I animated the face or the full rig of the body, kind of was not working. How will you do the facial animation? Will you do some? And if so, will you do it with shape keys or will you do it with bones? Curious about that. Because I found it hilariously hard to do it with bones. But I see you already have the full face rig set up. Hello, Why Just Wild. Welcome to the stream. We are making an art book. It's one of my next projects, yeah. I'm currently working on multiple different things, and the art book is one of them. But I figured, since I did a video on the Mirror Dreams art book, I could maybe also do one about making my own art book. But I mean, there will be a YouTube video about this one, but it's not the only one that is in the works right now. What I'm trying to do right now is I want to work on multiple videos at once, because I tend to finish a video, upload it, and then somehow fall into a little hole, creative hole, and I don't focus on doing the next video. So the gaps between the videos, as you might have noticed, get bigger and bigger and bigger, and I don't like that. It's so right now I'm trying to work on multiple video projects for my YouTube channel at once, and once I have a little stash, I can then basically release them every like 3 to 4 weeks, and then continue work on another new video while my stash is piling up. So I'm working on the art book, which will be a video eventually, most likely. I'm working on a 2D After Effects / 3D Blender combination video, so how you can combine these two tools and make something special, because let me think how I can phrase that. So I had an idea for an artwork in 3D, realized that Blender somehow struggles with that idea. There are some workarounds, but they never did 100% what I wanted. So I switched over to, okay, I can do that with After Effects, VFX. So let's combine the two tools and then share like a wild workflow and bring in old interests of mine from the skateboarding time. You will see it eventually, and you will understand it. Then I want to do some collaboration videos with some other YouTubers that are in the planning right now, that I'm really excited about. So there's like 3 projects. There was something else. And yeah, I had the idea of doing videos about traditional sketching, because I usually don't share that too much. So there's a lot of stuff. I would love to do, I don't know, maybe stream, or not stream, maybe vlog style, or anything that can show my experience with conventions. Because I'm doing so much conventions at the moment that I'm like, I think I want to share that experience with you guys, but it's so out of what my channel is about at the moment. Like, my channel is focusing so much on 3D, animation, a bit of 2D, and if I then suddenly switch over to the convention vlog, you guys probably will be like, what the fuck is going on here? But yeah, let's see. Alright, that looks like some interesting page. No, I don't know how to parent grease pens into my rig. Yeah, I also didn't really 100% make it work. I don't know what it is. I think that there must be a way to rig the grease pencil to the character or something, but yeah. I think it is something that eats so much performance, and for such a small effect, it works great for close-up shots in my opinion. If you make it work for close-up shots, then it's fine, but if you have like multiple characters walking on the scene and they all have grease pencil, it just looks noisy. So the question is if the benefit is there. You're working on a game mixed with animated short. Holy shit! Can I see that somewhere? Like, do you post some progress on that somewhere? Sounds interesting. Can I ask you to show me how to render these stylized 3D scenes? Wait, didn't I talk about the render settings in my 3D video? Wait a minute. For real? I mean, I can't go into detail right now because I'm trying to get the art book done. But let me quickly check. Oh, true. I didn't talk about the rendering, right? Was I didn't talk about me? First things first, like with the rendering, I am using cycles. Somehow I know a lot of people are always like, oh, but with stylized scenes you should use Eevee, yada yada yada. To be honest, I feel like the effect that gives this, what people also say, Alberto Miego style or whatever, or Spider-Verse style, cycles works better for me. Especially if you have anything that has glass textures or reflections going on. I really think that cycles works better. Also with all the bounce light, it really comes together better than in Eevee in my opinion. Do I have a video on that? I thought I have a video on that. Let me quickly. Okay, I put it on this. It's okay. Let's do it quickly. Quick scene setup. Are you ready? Not it. Give me a minute, I have to... So... My god, today is one of those days where there's so much action outdoors. I will make a quick detour for rendering, but give me a minute. Renders, let's turn off the music for a second so that I don't get copyright striked and you can understand me better. Blender file, where's the Blender file? Do I not have the Blender file somewhere? Animated scene. Okay. Let's pray that the scene is not crashing. Because I remember it was on the edge of crashing. All right. Quick detour. So what was your question in detail? Can you ask to show me how to render these stylized 3D scenes, because I'm having a really hard time with it myself with all these EV settings and lighting. All right. What I usually do, let's see if everything is in. Oh God, no. It already starts. Anyway, so when it comes to materials, which is also part of the rendering, object, I usually really only do a principal BSDF with the texture plugged in and bump the roughness really high so that there's not too much reflection going on, because I want to have the painterly texture basically doing all the work and not anything of these fancy schmancy things in here. This void texture is some special case. This is just some camera mapping texture. And yeah, basically all the materials just use texture coordinates and basic. So this is when it comes to this shit. What I then use is a sunlight. And with the light, I usually have the angle put to 0 or max 2%. I don't want to have soft shadows. Reason being that a lot of stylized artworks, animations have harsh shadows. If you do too soft, it can break the stylized illusion. That is that. With that scene in particular, also on top, I had in the material settings of the world, I had a sky texture in that. Interesting. Okay, I threw in some artwork. I think because I see here it's animated, I think it's because of the animation that is happening back there. There's this ring part. I think I used a specific really bold color texture to get some extra light. But ignore that. Usually just use one sunlight as for the main scene, maybe some extra area lights or so to highlight some parts, like maybe have I think here, yeah, I have an area light in here that basically has a light pushing out of the window, so you can control the focus a little bit. But main idea, sunlight, hard angle. Then cycles. I usually use cycles. Let me see if you can see that on the stream. Where's Blender? So I usually use cycles, GPU compete. You can use CPU, but don't bother. Just use GPU compute. Denoise. This is a viewport. No one cares about a viewport. I have denoise on. Use open image denoise usually. All that stuff is same. You can use the GPU for that. This I keep as it is. On the advanced, I keep as it is. So here comes the thing, light paths. So what this does is, correct me on it if I'm wrong, but basically it's calculating how many light bounces you have. So the bounce light that comes up again, how much bounces do you have in glass material. Usually I think it's on 12 up here, and then here 8, 10 or something. You can go down really low on that. So when you go to the transmission, if you go really low here, light might look weird in glass materials. But usually just go down. You don't need it to be too high. That saves you a lot of rendering time. That keep it as it is. Caustics, I keep it as it is. There's this fast GI approximation. It's basically breaking down the global illumination to a simpler version. Works great for preview renders, but doesn't work great if you want to have a high quality, perfect lighting rendering, so ignore that. Volumes keep as it is, subdivision keep as it is. You can play around if you understand what's going on here. Curves also, simplify also, keep it as it is. I have motion blur if you can afford it and it's useful for the scene. Turn it on, if not, turn it off. Eats too much resources. I'm just wondering, there's something missing. No, it's there. Film, transparent. If you have something that you want to composite later on, use that one. Otherwise, ignore it. So, performance. I usually use spatial blitz, use curves, persistent data. It's basically the first renders take longer because they they keep some render data around after you have the first render, and then the next renders, especially with animation, go way faster. So I usually turn it on. Works great. Never had an issue with it, and yeah, I just turn these on. They're, if you want to read up how it works, do it. Otherwise, they will just make things faster. If you have some downsides to it when it comes to some high fidelity details in the rendering, might be for stylized animation, doesn't matter. Bake, if you understand baking, use it, makes everything faster. Grease pencil, if you have it, play around with that. Most importantly for me, color management. I use filmic log medium high contrast. Gives me a raw kind of look. And later on, what I learned now with the export options, I use PNG, which kind of contradicts what I'm doing here with the color space. But if you know what you're doing, you can use OpenEXR. It's kind of like this raw format. It saves all the contrast values. So you can do like some really proper color grading later on. If you have your colors figured out perfectly in the Blender 3D scene already, perfect. Don't bother with that shit. It's just a lot of data. But if you want to do like some proper color grading later on, use OpenEXR, and then you can do color grading later on. And resolution, I usually try to render somewhere around 4K. If you intend on posting it only on social media, you can also use just full HD, like, I don't know, 1860 or whatever that was. I usually render in 24 FPS. Gives me the cinematic look, that's fine. And render region, crop to render region, I also do that, so it doesn't start calculating shit outside of the camera scene. Yeah, that's it. And then I usually just hit render. Yeah. Sometimes I use a render farm, especially with bigger animations that are too high in detail. I use a render farm. I use FreeS Cloud. Costs some money, but if your computer is not good enough, especially with animations, it makes sense. Oh, one thing. Samples. Where is it? This is a D noise. Interesting. So for this one, I had 150 samples. I know that a lot of people, because this value is usually insanely high, like 4K or some shit, and I know a lot of people swear on having like 500,000 samples. I don't know. If you do an animation and there's movement in it, don't bother going too high. Like in 90% of the cases, for me at least, with the stylized animation, a number between 150 to 400 usually worked great. If you have a lot of dark areas in your animation, you should have a higher sample rate, so the shadows get calculated correctly. If you have a day scene like this, you don't need too many samples, in my opinion, because usually it starts capping the sample number anyway. If the Blender realizes, okay, I have all the information I need, let's cut it. So save on that if you render on your own device. If you have a render farm and you have the funds for it, go crazy, go nutty, but usually you don't need a high sample rate. For this one, somehow I had only 150. I think for most animations or still images, I have like 400 or so, and that is completely fine. So that is that. Yeah, that was a short excursion. I hope that helped. Let's close Blender. Right, back to art booking. There's also a problem with the lighting settings. Everything is very dark, etc. Oh, dude, could be everything. I don't know. It's hard to tell what the issue might be there. It could be that you use a certain type of lamp that doesn't work in Eevee. There is a difference, for example, how strong a light needs to be set up in Eevee compared to cycles. I think, for example, I think it was with, I think area lights in Eevee work really bad. They work, but you have to crank them up brutally. I don't know what it is. I'm not too much into the technicalities of how light works in particular in Blender, but that's also why I use cycles, because I found light to be way more reliable in cycles, at least for my use case. So it could be just that if you use Eevee, that you just have to crank up the strength of the light insanely high. That's why I also use sunlights, because they usually work a bit better for what I want to do. Where did we get stuck here? Sure, sharing is caring. Oh boy. That is a question I usually try to avoid. Of course, I would love to. But to be honest, I managed to make animations that are loosely working, and believe it or not, the making a 3D character animation video I did on YouTube, it was the first animation that I actually had characters doing some facial stuff and moving a little bit. I'm not at a point where I would feel comfortable tackling a full animation or like even short animation with story myself. But I would love to. I'm sorry, I need some coffee. It's also a matter of funds and time. Right now, since the industry is struggling so much, and I'm like diverting my funds that I can use for my free time projects to other endeavors, like doing some short YouTube projects, or working on my own stuff for conventions. They eat up a lot of time, and right now with the industry not offering that many gigs, time is money. And to be honest, when I see how long it takes me to do like one of those 1 minute animations, I got faster at them, but even then, they're just static shots, right? They take me between like 2 to 6 months. Of course, not working on it all the time, but they take a lot of time. So to give like the proper attention to a project like this, that wait, give me a second. To give proper attention to such a project would need so much time, and to be honest, I would need people to help me with that, especially with the rigging and then facial animation and all that stuff. I would feel confident in making the concepts and the base meshes for the characters, all the background stuff and all the color grading and story writing, world building, but like really tackling a full project like this where you need proper characters and proper rigs and someone that understands animation principles for 3D, I couldn't do that alone. I would need help. Because like my standards that I wish to have for such a project are so high that I know I would go nuts if it doesn't look like the way I intended it to be. I need to find the story of these illustrations because I forgot. Which ones are which. Ah, so this is this illustration. Did I never post them? Did I post them on ArtStation? Thank you. I'm trying my best. I mean, I talked about this whole thing in my YouTube videos, that I'm really good at hiding issues. But yeah, the moment a character starts to move too much, you see shit breaks apart. Because I'm never doing like remeshing of the models, I'm never doing proper UV unwrapping. And there's always some issues that I manage to hide, but at some point it just looks wrong. And I think this is also the reason why I never pushed further than what I'm at right now. Where did I post stories? When it came to learning how to illustrate, did you study subjects such as perspective anatomy, or did you just draw and sketch? Yes and no. Yeah, sure. I had a phase where I sat down and was like, okay, I have to learn it now. I tried to be really thorough with my studies. But I don't know what it is, especially when it comes to anatomy. I have an understanding of anatomy, but I suck so hard at actually constructing characters. I rely heavily on references. I make my own references, use 3D models to draw over for basic construction. I think roughly knowing the basics of construction, anatomy, and yada yada, how it works, for example, makes it easier for me to push and pull stuff, how it should look. But I am not a Kim Jong-gi or like any other really super good illustrator that just goes and pumps out a perfect character, perfectly constructed and whatever. I also think it shouldn't be the focus. There used to be a time, and I see it coming back again, where people are like, if you can't draw anatomy perfectly from imagination, you're not a real artist, and yada yada yada. I don't know what it is. This is so far beyond the reality of being a concept artist or illustrator in industry. Your client doesn't care if you drew that shit from your mind. They want to see the finished product, and that's it. That said, yes, I studied it. I'm not particularly good at studying it. I was never particularly good using the lessons so that I can draw from imagination. But usually I work more with an eye on shapes. Shapes need to work for me. But I think there's right ways and wrong ways to study. Spicy opinion. Do I have the books here? Yeah, I mean, you should know your basics. Like, maybe it came out wrong, but you definitely need to study anatomy and perspective at some point. There's no way around it. But I think there's a misconception that studying and learning anatomy and perspective should lead to you being able to draw everything from imagination. This is so far beyond the reality of what you should do in or what you have to do in the industry. Clients don't pay you for doing stuff from imagination. If you know what I mean. Like, they pay you for your time, and if you spend way too much time trying to construct something and you're just not getting there, they don't care. They want to have a finished product. So that said, you need to use a lot of references, 3D bases, all that stuff. And your studies help you to use those references faster and easier, and you can then push and pull and form them in a way that they are useful for what you have to do at that point in time. So there are some really good books on, for me, more important perspective. It's called Framed Ink by Marcos Mathieu Mestre. Let me put it in the chat. It has a lot of examples on good value studies, values, coloring, compositions, how to use compositions for certain type of storytelling, moments in story, how lenses affect storytelling, fisheye lens, wide shot, close-up shot. And what I did, this was my Bible. Like, of course, you have to learn how to draw boxes in perspective and blah, blah, blah. But to be honest, in times of 3D, you don't need to construct a car from boxes. Don't do it. No one wants it. do a fucking 3D render, paint over it. But like Framed Ink, perfect book on composition and value studies. For anatomy, I used... Oh god, it was not Bridgman. Was it Bridgman? Oh no, not Bridgman. Bridgman was terrible. Bridgman, we over that. Hampton. Michael Hampton. He did a book on figure drawing figure and drapery and all that stuff. He has a more analytic approach with boxes and shit, and I try to follow along these lessons a lot, and for my brain it ticked a little bit. Can recommend that. But if you really, to be honest, might be an unpopular opinion or an opinion not so many people talk about. If you want to learn how to draw stuff from imagination, check out how Asian artists draw anatomy. I don't know what it is, especially Korean artists. I think it was Korean artists. They have a way of explaining anatomy and drawing anatomy that is far beyond anything you can learn from European or Western artists. I think like Western artists either tend to be like, let's say, too analytic, too many boxes and squares and shit, and making things too complicated, or they do it like way too loose and no one understands shit. But Asian artists, holy shit, I think they have narrowed it down to perfection when it comes to anatomy. Is there anything else? When it comes to animation, one book that you need to have, and you need no other book for animation, trust me. It's this behemoth of a book. It's absolutely unhinged big. I think it's like 400 pages of anatomy principles. There's everything in it you need to know about animation. How to use frames, how to skip frames, frame rates, movement, anticipation principles. It's fucking insane. It's the best book you can get, in my opinion. From all the books that I ever bought about learning illustration, it's this book. Illustration, animation, it's this book. It has everything you need to know. Like, you don't even need to read through it fully. Just like mark chapters, and if you have a question about some stuff, you can just go back and check it out. It's absolutely insane. There's like running cycles in it and whatever. It's beast mode. Yeah, it is, totally. If you don't have that book and want to do animation, you're missing out on something. Another trick, I don't know where I picked that up. I think it was also some random Pinterest post from a damn crazy good Asian artist. I'm not trying to remember the name or try to pronounce it because I will butcher it, so I'm sorry. When I wanted to learn how to draw stuff from imagination, which I gave up at some point, I think it was partially a lesson from Kim Young-gi, but there might have been another artist also. What I try to do is I take a reference image, for example, of an object. And I vividly remember that because I can still draw it from all the angles. It's crazy how it worked. I had a tactical vest, like with magazines for a gun, and I had a reference image of that. And I traced that reference, all the important shapes, traced it, closed the reference image, only had the traced lines. Then I tried to draw that traced image from imagination as far as I could, went back to the reference and the traced lines, fixed the stuff with looking at it from fixed the stuff on the imaginative angle that I drew and tried to fix it with the references that I had, and then I tried to draw that reference image from different angles out of my mind. So basically try to imagine how would that look if I turn it 90 degrees from the bottom, and then I did it like multiple sketches on that and always referenced back with the references. And at the last step I tried to find new reference images that basically showed me how certain things work, and I swear to fucking God, that technique made it possible for me to draw a fucking tactical vest from then on every time out of my mind. I think this technique burns an object or an image in your mind, and you can always draw that. Bye, Kanad. I hope you have a nice day. And thanks for sharing your artworks. They look great. Godspeed and power to you to push through that. I won't delete it. I hope that because I turned off the music that the part with the rendering will be still with sound, because YouTube tends to delete sound sometimes. We're slowly getting there. Alright, are we already streaming for 3 hours? Oh shit, I need to eat something. So, where are we right now? Page 90 of... Oh god. Still 100 pages. My god. So I think though it might get easier. This project, I don't know how to lay out that. It was like a weird 3D project I had. There was a time where I tried to do 2D style trees in 3D. Like, I kind of like it. They look like popsicles, but yeah. Let's see. I don't think that will be too much work. That will eat so much time. That one. This is one of the bigger animations. It will kind of be troublesome because it has so much material in it. I would love to do more shots because there were so many assets I was really proud of. Like this whole thing here, there's so many details that never got seen in the animation. Those tables and computers, my god, I was so happy how they looked. There's some posters in it. There's some references in it, like this here is a reference to... Wait, where is it? This machine, this scene here is basically this one. So I want to maybe point that out somehow. Yeah, so there's here also, there's so much work in it still that needs to be done. This will take a lot of time, that project, yeah. This will be easy. This is a callback to an earlier animation. Will be also fine, there's not too much to say about it. This is also fine, not so much to say about it. This is a random page that I'm not 100% sure yet how I will deal with that, but should be fine. There's also not too much to say about this one. That will be fucking insane. It's kind of funny, like, it's not an animation per se, but there's so many individual artworks connected to that project here, and so many concepts that it probably eats the most pages in the whole book. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 spreads. It's like 24 pages just alone for this project. Gotta check how I deal with that. These ones will be also more pages than they are currently, just because there's some concept work behind it I want to show and some explanations. These will stay like this. There's not much to say, And that again will eat a lot of pages. My god, so many pages. Let me do it like this quickly because I love the thumbnail. Oh no, I have it here, true. It's in this folder. This was this. My god, I'm so proud of that thumbnail. Yeah, there's a lot of like material for that animation for sure. That will take a lot of time. And that one, you guys know from my YouTube video, there will be some material. And of course this animation and the last one. I was actually thinking, and now comes the burner, for anyone that is maybe still in the stream. I don't know how many people are still in the stream. 3. So you will get a secret now. I plan on releasing a special edition of the art book, just a small batch that comes with an original hand-drawn frame from the animation. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I should have some of them still here. Where the fuck did I put it? Anyway, you have to believe me, I have it. Where did I put it? Well, anyway, I have some of the original frames from the mixed media animation. I still have them, and I wanted to like put them in a nice frame, Passepartout, and then there will be like a special collector's edition with signed artwork. But yeah. Anyhow, I would end the stream now because I need some food, I need some rest, and then I have to draw on the cover for Mirror Dreams 2. Which is also coming at some point soon. Another art book, woo! Thank you so much guys for tuning into the stream. I won't promise to do another stream soon, because usually I forget about it. But I really enjoyed hanging out and having you guys along the side of it. And yeah, have a lovely start into the week and see you in